Hi Aries, this is going to be a self-love tarot message. These are general readings, so if they don't resonate with you this week, I plan to do them every week. So if you want to come back, maybe there's something we can help you with next time. These are self-love readings. They're really designed for the person who's watching to showcase areas where spirit might feel like we're letting ourselves down in ways. We're giving away too much of our power. We're not prioritizing our right needs, or we're not showcasing our most authentic self. And so this tarot reading is designed to highlight those things. It's going to be a 6-card spread, and I shuffled a little bit before we got started, so I'll shuffle like 1 or 2 more times, and then we'll get into it. So the first card is going to be how you're feeling about yourself right now. The second card is going to be something you do need to prioritize. Spirit says maybe you put it on the back burner, but now we're going to take it off the back burner and give it a good look-see. In the third position, it's something, an area where you probably know that you're letting yourself down, but maybe for whatever reason, you just haven't gotten around to it. And so Spirit wants to highlight that area as well. The fourth position is an area in which you could be more authentic with yourself or those around you. The fifth is going to be something you can give up, let go of, very simple. And the sixth card is something you need to acknowledge. For the seventh card, I'm going to do spirit message to you. And then I will clarify in a minute with the Shamanic Healing Oracle cards. They're real nice. Okay, so in the first position, Aries, let's see. Virtue. Aries, you are feeling like the 3 of Wands. Virtue. There's so many ways. Virtue is like a lot of things, not like one thing, right? So like a virtue is like a positive quality. And here we see this person juggling multiple wands. And so I think right now, Aries, you were trying to stand in your virtue, maybe by being brave or being honest or being hardworking or whatever it is that you're going through. But right now it's that you're trying to choose the high road. Not petty, you're trying to be virtuous. That's really nice, especially for a fire sign. No offense, I just know y'all can be very sassy. I like that. Virtue. In the position of something you need to prioritize, Aries, the universe. The universe. She's akin to the world in the tarot, the original tarot. So she's a portal. Aries, you might be feeling brave or virtuous now, but there is a portal coming for you. The difference between the portal and the Wheel of Fortune is the Wheel of Fortune brings change. The portal brings choices. A door can be open for us. We could be standing right at the door jamb. We could be at the threshold and still not choose to walk through the door. That's why it's a portal. So universe is saying, Aries, a portal is coming for you. It might be available to you now, but it's a priority that you have to make for yourself. You have to decide to move through it on your own. In this third position, an area where you might consciously know that you're letting yourself down, or you're not feeling as much as you should be feeling, or you're just not giving yourself 100% in, is the defeat card, Aries. I always say defeat the head to toes. So funny. Except this isn't that funny, so I'm sorry for my inappropriate outburst. Aries, this is telling me that you have a feeling or a sense of defeat. Something has probably not gone right or well or as you expected, and you're feeling this sense of loss. Now, Aries, you're not the girl standing over this guy. You're the guy. You have been pinned to the ground, you have been beaten, she's taking your sword, she's leaving. That's such an ugly energy to be in. Especially since, like, defeat is real, failure is real, but they aren't places to live, right? They're just emotions and we can move on from them. The hard part becomes acknowledging them. and dealing with them, because Spirit says right now you're just not acknowledging this sense of defeat. Maybe there's an area where you feel you should give up, or there's a niggling in the back of your head and it's saying, hey, this isn't really for us. I don't really like this. I don't really want to do that. Then you just keep doing it and not ignoring your intuition. If you ever have that voice in your brain and it's going, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. That's your intuition. Okay, you should probably pay attention to that. For some reason, your body is literally screaming at you, I don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it. So don't do it. Don't do it. That's your intuition. If you need a sign, or if anybody's never told you that, this is me telling you, don't do it. But here, Aries, there's something that you have to do. Oh, I'm really sorry. I much prefer things I don't have to do, right? So right now I see this portal, this sense of defeat, and maybe you do recognize the defeat because you're trying to stand in like a virtuous sort of energy. That's great. But if you ignore the defeat, if you just push it off and out of your mind, it's only going to come back again later, Aries. So deal with it now while you have this virtuous energy. I don't know what the situation is, but I think we did talk about emotional space, right? If you can bring forgiveness into the situation, even if it's just for yourself, you allow yourself some emotional space from the situation. Emotional space is kind of like emotional work, right? If we're in a relationship or we have a job, we have to put in emotional work. Emotional work is just kind of like doing things that you don't really want to do if you don't feel like you have the energy. So, right, at the end of the day, your partner comes home, you do the, how was your day? That's emotional work. You might not care. You might not have the space. You might not have the energy. We ask because we want to show people that we care about them. We have to put emotional work into our relationships. Well, in the same way, we have to put emotional space into our endings of things, jobs, relationships, friendships, things like that. Even just like, not even endings, not all the time, but like maybe just a fight. Maybe you had a fight with your friend, your coworker, your boss, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your mom, your dad, and whatever it is, okay, you're very upset about it. But if you give yourself emotional space, if you forgive the situation, you say, okay, this is how the situation went. But if I had more information, or if situations had been different, that situation might have been different. Maybe your dad told you on Tuesday that, you didn't do your chores last weekend and now you can't do any of the things you want to do. And so you're frustrated. And if he'd only told you on Monday, it wouldn't have been such a big deal because now it's Tuesday and you have things to do. I don't know if that's a very good analogy, but if the timing had been different, maybe the situation would have been different. If the person had been different, whatever you need to like identify in your head if something could have been different, give yourself permission to say, okay, it would have been different if this sort of thing happened. It would have been different. It's okay. It was a mistake. It was an accident. It didn't work out the way it's supposed to. Next time it can be different. And if you can give yourself just a little bit of forgiveness with the situation, you can create that emotional space for yourself. I'm sorry that took such a long time to explain, but it's that emotional space that allows us to move on from things. Because sometimes what ends up happening is something ends and we can't forgive ourselves or the person involved, or we can't focus on something else except for the problem because we're not giving ourselves space away. I don't know if you've had a fight with anybody. Pick somebody in your whole entire life, anybody. You have a fight and you just want some cooling off time afterwards. I just don't want to be around you right now. It's the same thing, but like in our emotional intelligence. We have to give ourselves emotional space from a problem. Dealing with defeat, you're gonna have to deal with that. If it feels like this sense of defeat, tell yourself, okay, well, if the situation had been different, if I had gotten there earlier, if I had woken up on time, if maybe the argument before hadn't have happened, because sometimes we get into these series, right? And like maybe there was that triggering moment that we saw a while ago and then we just kind of keep pushing. I'm not going to do that anymore. Forgive yourself for the part that you had, forgive whoever else, and just give yourself some space to deal with that. Because the universe is saying something to acknowledge. Oh, that's real weird. I don't usually do the reverses. But this came out in the reverse. Well, what you had was the Lovers. And in this deck, I think it's more akin to the Ten of Cups. Because in this one, you see the family, right? You see the eagle that represents truth, the lion that represents bravery. Both of those are virtues. So here you are in your family, surrounded by your virtues. This came out in the reverse. I kind of feel like with the sense of defeat and with the sense of the lovers being in reverse, this looks like it looks like a divorce or the end of like a long commitment. And you're trying to be virtuous. You're not trying to make things worse, which I think is great. But if this is that, if this is a divorce, giving yourself emotional space. We can be in relationships for like a really, really long time with somebody. And that doesn't mean that the entire time is good. It could mean that half the time was good, a third of the time was good. And often, to be in a relationship, it has to be like 50-50, right? Or like some kind of balance. You have to give and they have to give. Well, it also works that way in like fights and arguments and things. It takes two people to argue. One person to yell, and the other person to yell back. Or, even better, one person to yell and the other one just sit there silently and not help out in the conversation at all. Whatever it is, Aries, I'm sorry, but whatever it is and however far it's gone, however long it's been happening, it's important to understand that you also played a role. Whatever the role it was that you were involved in, you know for yourself. I'm not saying you were the aggressor. I'm not saying that you were the victim. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying that you do know that you played a role because it was a relationship that's coming to an end, I see. And so I'm not going to talk about the relationship, but I am going to talk about this emotional space again because I feel like it came up and I had so much to say about it, and now this situation. So Aries, you're going through a breakup, a separation, or a divorce. What I really want you to focus on is looking at the things that you know you did that were not helpful to the situation. That's it. Look at those things. And then tell yourself, if you had had the opportunity to do things differently, would you have? If the answer is no, and he got what he got, good for you, as it should be. But that's not really honest, right? Because in the future, hopefully, I mean, maybe not now, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not in 3 or 4 years, but one day you're going to want to get into another relationship. So look at the things, honestly, that you did that led to any kind of arguments, maybe even just not arguing. Whatever it was that you were involved in, go ahead and just take a deep breath, Aries. Put your hand over your heart and say, I'm really sorry that things didn't work out the way that we expected. But things don't always have to be like that. In the future, I can be more communicative. I could be less communicative. I could complain less. I could ask for less. I could ask for more. A lot of the time what ends up happening is that we don't ask for what we want. And then we get like 4 years into this relationship, we're like, why am I so unsatisfied? Oh, it's because you've never once gotten anything that you wanted. So just look at those, because self-love is really about the habits that we build from a young age that daily require us to give out more than we give back, and then rewiring those habits so that we're getting what we need. I don't know if the expression follows, but in Christianity we talk about cups, right? We always say you can't pour from an empty cup. So if you're in a relationship with somebody, you say, oh honey, I love you, pour. And then they say, oh honey, I love you back, pour. And in that way the cups stay equal. You say, oh honey, I did all the housework today, pour. And he says, oh, well, I came home from my 1920s job because only men apparently work in this analogy, and I brought home the bacon, pour. Okay? But if he comes home at the end of the day, or you come home at the end of the day, and you're like, I did all of this and I brought home all this money, pour. And then this person says, I did not get off the couch, and I talked to other people on Tinder. Well, there's no pouring going on there. There's no back and forth. In the future, what you want is to create these self-love habits, or build these boundaries around what you want and what you need, so that later on that doesn't happen anymore. That later on there's always going to be this give and take, okay? With the Lovers in reverse, this could be just like the defeat. This could be something that's happening in your life, but you're not letting other people know about it. You're not showcasing it. You have this sense of defeat that the universe is saying for your better self, you need to acknowledge and focus on and deal with. But then it's saying also in this position of what you need to acknowledge to be your most authentic self is this Lovers in reverse, is this ending of some kind of situation. I know that Aries, as like the first sign of the zodiac, is always thought to be immature and impulsive, but this doesn't show me an immature and impulsive. This shows me you're trying to handle this in a positive way, and I'm really proud of you, because for anybody, that's a feat. For anybody, that's hard work. Even for me, I know I sit here and I'm like, self-love all day long, but I'll yell. Oh, I'll yell. I'll get so loud, and then I'll decide that if you made me that loud, that I don't really ever want to talk to you again, and I never, ever will. So here I see someone who's trying to be virtuous in their actions, dealing with heavy things. And I applaud you, Aries. Not sarcastic, I applaud you. It was very good. In the position of what you need to let go of is this Nine of Pentacles. Okay. I really love this card, and I'll explain it in a minute. The Nine of Pentacles is gain. Yeah. I really feel like maybe you thought that this would go differently, and that's fair. We all have expectations. We all get that, those pictures in our brains, what things could be like, and if they don't really work out the way that we want to, it's fair to be disappointed. The universe is saying you have to let go of this idea of gain, that you're gaining something, or that you were going to gain something, or something was going to work out in your favor. The Nine of Cups, or the Nine of Pentacles, is mastery. It's really getting so good at your craft that now you've mastered it, and you can build your life on it. I love this card. And if you look at the cute guy sitting in his little half arch, and he's got his little sunflowers, and again, they're not material, right? They are physical. These are flowers, but they call them pentacles, right? Because there's lots of different ways to be emotionally stable, or to be physically stable, or stable in any way. It's the Nine of Pentacles. What I love about this card is, even though it looks like he has everything he needs, there's so much empty space above, okay? And that arch is not complete, that circle, because it's not the Ten of Pentacles. You are not complete. There's something else here that goes here. Something else that belongs up here. All this empty space, okay? So maybe right now, and this is kind of what I want to say, is maybe right now you feel like you're going through the sense of defeat or the sense of loss. And you have to give up this idea that this is the direction to go. Universe is saying to you that the reason you've come to this stop is because there's nothing left on the other side of this for you, okay? There's nothing over here. Universe wants you to take a pause, reflect, deal with this sense of defeat or loss, because you feel like there's something that you're missing out on, and that's fair. Super fair. Give yourself some emotional space. Allow yourself to think of the problem in a different way. Think of solutions in a different way. They might not be solutions to your situation, but solutions to your particular situation. If you did not say what you needed enough, think of a solution to that, so that next time that doesn't happen, okay? But you're not complete. So don't worry and think this is the end for you. It's not. This is just the end of a relationship. There is still more out there for you. There's still that one pentacle left, that Ten of Pentacles, that Ace, okay? The universe is saying something you need to acknowledge. Abundance, okay? This abundance is going to come out for you. You are going to come through with this defeat energy. You're going to stop moping around, because I feel like this is kind of like a subconscious level. So maybe consciously, you know you're upset and you think you're handling it really well, but you're probably moping or being irritable for no reason. That's kind of what I see. You're going to move through that sense of defeat. You're going to acknowledge this lack of the lovers, and it's going to bring you abundance, friendships, parties, freedom, okay? A lot of people think that getting out of a relationship is the worst thing in the world. Oh my God, I was dumped. Oh my God, they broke up with me. Oh my God, I got divorced. But I guarantee that if you give yourself some of that emotional space, just for a couple of days, the things that are going to flood in are going to be all the things that you didn't like, all the things you couldn't do, all the things that you were held back from because somebody else didn't want to do them too. That's my biggest beef about relationships, is like, I want to go to luchador wrestling. Luchador wrestling? I don't want to do that. And then we don't. Where are my needs? How are my needs being met? Give yourself some emotional space, and I'm sure that very quickly you will start to see all of these things that you didn't like. And in that mindset of all the things I didn't like, take solace in the fact that you don't have to deal with that anymore. Seriously, there has to have been things that were making you unhappy. I mean, there had to have been something that led to that, end of the road. Look at those things. Embrace those things. Celebrate the fact that you officially don't have to worry about that ever again. I know that some people like to spend a lot of time with their families, okay? And I know that some people don't actually like that. So for me, I love to spend time with my family. And I was dating this one guy, and I'd be like, okay, let's go to my family's house for the weekend. And he'd be like, oh, well, I know that you mean for like hours on end with nothing to do. Sir, that's my family. They're why I'm there. They're why I'm here, but they're also why I'm at their house. There's never a shortage of things for me to do. If you don't like it, you don't have to come. But I don't want to not go. So I'm not going to do what I don't want to do because you want to do something else. No. I'm going to do what I want to do. And now you have that freedom, Aries. You have freedom. This abundance, this freedom, this happiness, this joy, okay? And Spirit wants you to know, wow, I've never even gotten this. This is really good. I'm telling you. You're unhappy now, but you're going to come away from this and you're going to feel much better about yourself. Universe is saying, look at that, the star. Look at that. That's a gorgeous card. The star. I've heard tell that in the traditional tarot, the star, well, it does come after the tower, but what I've heard tell about is that star isn't actually a star. That's actually the explosion you're seeing of the tower being blown up. And then all of this is the universe bringing the energy back into one place, because matter is neither created nor destroyed. Energy is not. We just recycle everything that we have. And so here we see that this tower has blown up, which is this sense of loss, the sense of defeat. But you're going to have this brand new morning, this dawn. Look at that star. Notice how she pours from that vase, right? And then there's that vase next to her. She's pouring intuition and emotion back into this water. She's starting a new cycle. And that's what I think for you, Aries. I really do. But it's you pouring into the water that you're in. Look at that. Okay? You can't find someone, Aries, who isn't going to pour back into you. That is your homework. That is your assignment. Okay? You are pouring into yourself. That's what this star is about. You don't have to worry about what anybody else thinks anymore, what anybody else wants or expects. You're pouring into yourself. And the homework that you have from this to take forward is to find people in your life that do the same thing. If you already have people in your life that pour into your cup, keep them, don't lose them. You'll never worry about anything a day in your life. If you don't have people like that, you need to go find them. Takes two to tango, Aries. But do you want someone who can tango, or do you want someone who's just going to sit there and critique you as you do it yourself? No. I don't really feel like this needs clarifying, but we're going to go really quickly because we're done. And Aries, I always take so much time with you. I I just feel like you need a lot more of my insight. Nope, these are upside down and backwards. Okay, so we said for the Three of Wands, you're feeling right now, you're in this virtuous energy. Retreat. Okay, I don't know if you're doing it, but you probably should, because if you look on the top of the card, you see that whole storm and the snow and this bird who's pulled themselves away. That storm could be what's going on in your life right now. If you're trying to figure out how to deal with this energy, if you're trying not to be sassy, if you're trying not to be petty, if you're trying not to just remove yourself from the situation. If you're dealing with a narcissist especially, oh my goodness. I can't promise you that it'll stop today, tomorrow, or in 4 months, because it takes a very long time for them to understand you are no longer a source for them to come to. They can't get anything from you. If you need to retreat, I would do that. I always think of retreat also as a really good way of getting grounded. Grounding and stabilizing your energy. Oh, I said it. Okay, so I see this retreat and I see this sacred space. This is telling me, Aries, that you need time away. Take some time. To your family, to your friends, Airbnb, VRBO. We have like roadside lodges and they're like $40 a night. That's really gross. Don't stay there. But if you have to get away, this is what I'm recommending. This is what universe is saying to you. Spirit. Direction. The universe. This portal. Knowing something's coming to an end. Okay, but if this is a situation you're unhappy in, you don't want to get stuck in this situation. And this sexual energy card, I don't think is like a woo. I think this sexual energy card is like, if you're not careful, you can just get sucked back in because of the sexual energy. How many of us have like totally changed our mind after a really good afternoon? I have. So be careful. They'll get you like that. They will. Omens. I don't necessarily think this is a card saying that you have omens and you can see them and they're coming to you. I think this is a card that says you have already been seeing these omens. I think it's a card that says you know what's coming and that you have to deal with it. All right, and then we had the Three of Swords, or the Five of Swords in your area you need to focus on, the sense of defeat. It's not defeat, it's ascension. This is universe leading you back to where you were supposed to be. I know that they say we have like all this control over our lives and destiny is fake and fate or whatever, but universe is not going to let you go somewhere that is not for you. It just isn't. If there is a lesson that you need to learn, nothing's going to stand in your way. But once you've learned that lesson, or if you're not learning that lesson, universe is going to start shutting you off. It's going to start cutting off areas that you feel like you can go. It's going to start boiling it down to like the only thing that you can do is face the problem that you have in front of you. It's really funny. I feel like a lot of people are always like, oh, I'm so tired. Oh, I have so much work. Oh, I have to do all these things. Probably, yeah, you do have to do all those things, but I would think that you should focus on what's the most important things. Your feelings, most important. You got to figure out how you feel about stuff. You got to figure out how you're going to deal with things. Way more important. There's anger here. That's fair. I'm not even going to say, like, you know, don't worry about it or don't be mad or whatever. I mean, it doesn't really do well to be mad. I mean, you can, if you have that in you, just let it out. But, like, if you just stay in that, that's not going to help you at all. Let me tell you. As somebody who was driven by spite for multiple years, it doesn't actually get you to a happy place. It will get you where you need to go. Spite is an incredible motivator. But it doesn't get you happy. It just gets you to where you thought you wanted to go, which, spoiler alert, is the wrong way. Okay? Give yourself some of this emotional space. The anger will dissipate, I promise. The Lovers in reverse. Divine timing. See, we think we have control. We think that we know what we're doing. We think we know where we're going. But the truth of the matter is we don't have any control. We don't know it all. And we can only go as far as we're allowed to go. If we're smart, if we're awake, if we focus on it, we can, you know, tap into that intuition, and our intuition will tell us which direction is for us. If you got into this relationship as you were getting into this relationship thinking, wow, this isn't a very good idea, or this person's okay, I don't really love them, but I don't want to be single, Or if we got into this relationship thinking, oh, wow, this is great, now I'll never have to be alone. Like, those are the wrong things to send you in the direction. But if you got into a relationship thinking, you know, this person is so kind. Wow, this person's going to make like a really good father. Or wow, this person is so nurturing and loving. I know she's going to be a great mom. If you get into a relationship looking at all the benefits, that's probably like a good sign. But if you're getting into these relationships and you have to tell yourself throughout the time that like, oh, it'll get better, or oh, it'll be fine, or oh, it's okay, like that's probably already your intuition telling you that this isn't great. That's not where you want to be. But if it's coming to an end now, after all this time, then that's probably is divine timing. It's probably protecting you. Unlimited possibilities. Aries, I don't think you need to worry, because I feel like this isn't just like, I don't feel like this is sad sack energy. I like that you came out in the anger, because that means you're not trying to play the victim. Like, oh, they did this to me. Yeah. Well, anger can be a good motivator. Just don't live in it. Because we need to come into contact with more of our feminine energy. And that's what we're missing, maybe. This came over that 9 of Pentacles. What you need to let go of, that sense of gain. The feminine energy came over that 9 of Pentacles. And I think that that's really kind of what this is about. This retreat, this sacred space, this ascension, this portal, all this energy, like it's designed to help you move forward. And I think that to do that, you have to embrace your feminine energy, because feminine energy is really about figuring out what we want. What's going on inside of us, what's going on inside of other people, evaluation, okay? A new day. Yeah, I really just feel like this is going to just move you forward, Aries. Like, I'm feeling like, personally, this would be hard to deal with, but sitting here looking at it, like all I can think of is just go, 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 go. There's so much better stuff on the other side. Just run, Aries. Go, go, go. You're gonna feel so much better. Okay. Duality. The light bird and the dark bird. When I think of duality, I always think good and bad, right? You have to take the good with the bad. In that, maybe this was a bad situation, but that you learned a lot about yourself and what you're willing to put up with or you're not willing to put up with in the future. Those are wins. I don't care. I have been in so many shitty relationships. So many of them. It seems like they just kept getting worse and worse and worse because I wasn't learning the lesson. Take it from me. I'm going to tell you this, since it seems like you're coming to an end of a relationship. Future advice for future relationships. You cannot move in with somebody just because you like the way that their butt looks in jeans. Don't do it. That's that's superficial. And it doesn't work out. Because you know why? Butts looking good in jeans does not equate to doing chores around the house or helping pay with bills or not talking to other women. Or like literally cheating on you, okay? So find people who have more in common with you than the way that your butt looks. That's solid life advice. I should charge for that. That really happened, yeah. Taking the good with the bad. If this is bad, there was a lesson in it. If it's good, there's probably still a lesson in it, but it's a reward. And that, my friend, is growth. Knowing that things come to you when they're for you. Things are easier when they're for you. If you spend every single day struggling upstream, it's probably not for you. And when you release it, you're gonna feel a lot better, okay? Because the universe is saying there is this new beginning. We had that in the clarifiers. This star, Aries, you have to pour into yourself, and you have to receive the same amount of pouring. Okay? I demand it. The next person you date, you better let me know. Letting go. And then there's that dark and that light again. Letting go of the duality. Or embracing duality and letting go of the fact that you think that things have to be a certain way. This gain. What you thought was coming isn't coming. And that's okay, because we're moving into balance. Frick. I'm so freaking excited, Aries. This is going to be great. Okay? Just really quickly about this movement into balance, just because it's the same thing, this duality, right? This is a nice, clear night. And this is the rain, and this is that transition.
But you cannot have life and energy and a beautiful forest without rain. But rain also signifies emotions. So there needs to be some kind of emotional release. You know it's there. It's in the back of your head. We said, as our recap, that you were feeling in a virtuous mood. You don't want to be negative or sassy or petty or spiteful. But you are aware of the fact that there is a change that needs to take place. The change is coming. I see all of this negative energy around it. So it's either there or it's coming. You just have to make that decision for yourself. And I firmly believe the best decision would be step through this portal, get it over with. Just rip the Band-Aid off. Because what you're really holding yourself back from is abundance, it's growth, it's duality, it's this new beginning for you to pour into yourself. Totally worth it. Aries. I really hope this helped. I really do. Have a good day.